Welcome back, Aquarius. Thank you so much for joining me for your biweekly reading. My name is Emily Gear. I am a transformative energy healer and a multidimensional channel. I'm here with your biweekly reading, of course, as I start to shuffle the cards here. Just please take note of this handy slide that I've created in my video, just to give you information about how to reach me if you decide you would like to schedule a personal session or reading with me. I do want to note that for the rest of this cycle, I do have the extended relationship readings up on Vimeo. So the link to that will be in the description box below, along with some of the questions that we answer in that reading. Okay, so without further ado, I just want to ask Source for some guidance and messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the next 2 weeks, please. All right. Oops, I forgot to click over. There I am. Sorry, guys. I'm just learning how to use this. So, we've had a few cards pop here, quite a few. So, it seems to be there's a lot going on, but I am actually feeling the sense of a lot of stabilizing energy for you guys in the next 2 weeks, so that's very positive. The first one here is the Three of Wands. Next is the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. Then we have the Queen of Wands. Then we have the King of Cups. And we have the King of Swords. So these could be individual people in your life, but I don't tend to read these that way. I tend to read them as the energies that come into our lives, and that to me makes a little more sense for what we're trying to accomplish here today. I get a sense that, and it could be that it's through this full moon that's taking place, or potentially just through this, I'm just getting this feeling of a heavy clearing that's taking place throughout Virgo season. The way that all the planets are kind of pushing up and clearing through Virgo at once. And as that happens, there's a kind of triggering of energies within us. And depending on how in tune you are with your own energy, you might have realized this was happening and known it was temporary, or you might have been going through a little bit of a crisis period. But I do feel that lightening up now, and that in some ways you're getting a restart, and it's going to kind of hit the ground running. Is kind of how I feel with this Three of Wands and this Princess of Wands showing up. This is appearing to me like a new, it might even be a new joy for life, or at the very least like a new lust for life. I do feel a lifting of energies that feel like depression, that might feel like loneliness or even shame, or whatever it is that you might have been experiencing the last few weeks. There is a shift out of that. So some of the heavier energies are moving out for you. And this is due in part by your own manifestation of that, by your own saying of, I am tired of living like this. And so you have been given this sort of new beginning. And with that comes a renewed sort of sense of sovereignty within you, a renewed sense of, it could be for some of you self-love. I know that is quite the struggle, and in the middle of a struggle for some of you right now. And so I do think that there's a kind of understanding of the concept, or a real grasping of the concept that is taking place right now. Even if we acknowledge that there's still more, there's still deeper we can go into unconditional love for ourselves, that there is there's a lot of progress, but that's not really the right word. What they're showing me is like deep roots growing in, and so it just takes time for those roots to really expand deeper and deeper into deeper, richer soil. Okay, and so that's like what is happening with you in your own self-love at this time. It's supported by a more healthy sense of detachment from things that were holding you back. Maybe they're from things that you were experiencing a sort of codependent energy with. Maybe from things that you were addicted to in another way. Okay, so we might not be talking about crack cocaine, at least I hope we're not, but it could be addicted to work, or addicted to food, or addicted to exercise, whatever. This is empowering for you. It actually is opening up the door for you to see how, number one, you have created your existence as it is, and that you have the power to change how that continues to play out in your life, and that it's the two critically important, and I'm saying this, I don't know if I've even shown you it. You had to think I did show you these cards. The critically important aspects are the self-love and the sense of detachment. They seem to be at odds with each other, but they're not, okay? I'm being reminded that love is not attachment. We might confuse it with that, and we might confuse a lot of kinds of attachment with love. I think that's the bigger problem. We confuse a lot of kinds of attachment with love. So codependency is not love, it is attachment, and attachment causes pain, okay? Love is basically a chemical process in your brain, and it's incapable of attachment. So attachment is what we do to it, or what we do, not even to it or with it. It might not even involve love whatsoever. It involves fear is what our attachment involves. And so learning to love without attachment is the empowering lesson of these 2 weeks. That doesn't mean that if something happened and something left your life that you loved, you wouldn't be sad, right? But attachment is that addictive tendency that's painful and destructive, okay? And that's what we're avoiding. So kudos to you guys if you are in this place where you have made this move. Otherwise, that's something to certainly focus on for the next 2 weeks because it's supported in your energy. Yeah, 2 of Wands. Focus on this for the next 2 weeks. Especially the next 2 days, all of a sudden they're saying. Now they want me to use this as a timing card, but I was really just thinking of picking this new path. But it is 2 wands, which can equal 2 days, or it could be 2 weeks if you want, but traditional timing is 2 days with the wands. So for whatever that's worth, it's a conscious decision to make to live this way. Is kind of what I'm feeling. What other messages do we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, please? What other messages are coming through? A lot of you just really are in a deep healing process. Really feeling any of these. Keep going. What did just come out is the Knight of Pentacles. I guess I am just feeling from that, like, kind of a keep it going, keep it moving. Take your time as needed. Be patient with yourself. This is this may be a whole new way of life for you. And so you're going to have to learn how to exist in it, right? It might not feel natural just now, and yet I'm almost feeling like some of you might be having a little bit of residual fear, like somehow this is not right, or if what I'm feeling from some of you is like waiting for the other shoe to drop. If I allow myself to feel this kind of joy and empowerment, how will it feel when everything blows up in my face, right? It's that expectation of it blowing up in your face. And that's fear. So yes, if that's how you want to think about it, and that's the dominant vibration you want to hold on to, of course, it will blow up in your face. So the challenge is then to just keep releasing that, keep surrendering that. Just surrender. For me personally, the way that I have been dealing with that, I used to deal with it through some really extensive energy healing techniques that I would use, which can be helpful. But again, since August, I have been instructed to simply call in God and say, I'm surrendering this to you now. I completely release control of it. I give it to you for my highest and best good to be done. And then I just leave it. I don't keep looking at it. I don't keep testing myself for it. I don't keep thinking about it. I just let it go. And that requires that detachment mentality where you can then just detach from it and no longer think about it, worry about it, keep pulling it back into your energy field. Okay. All right. So for whatever that's worth, that's how I do this. You're going to be, so the next cards that came out here are the Ace of Wands with the Queen of Cups and the Chariot. And what they're showing me for this combination is that you're going to be creating now from a place of unconditional love, from a depth of your, from deep compassion, deep emotions. And this is not the emotions, this is not the emotions you're used to creating from, right? The emotions that we've been creating from, and not everyone, but many people create from, are fear and shame and grief, all of those kinds of emotions. Those are emotions too. They're just on the lower scale. Okay. If you look at the, what's it called? The Hawkins scale or the map of consciousness, you'll see sort of a number assigned to each emotion, right? According to how it vibrates on, on the scale of whether it's enlightenment, unconditional love, shame, fear, anger, any of those things. They all have vibrations associated with them. So this to me is beginning to, and I don't even want to say beginning to, this is not a slow movement. This is a quick movement, quick development in your life, and quick development toward what you've been wanting to create in your life. It's almost that sense that keeps coming out in the readings where I was picking the 9 of Cups in every fucking reading. And now it's, so in your reading it's coming up as the Queen of Cups, which makes me feel like you are very much in sovereign control to an extent of how this manifests because of the invested emotions. And you're learning how to invest the right emotions. God, I hate that word right or wrong. You know me, but I'm just going to say it so that we can move on. To invest the sort of positive, light, useful emotions in order to reach this elevated energetic level where you have not necessarily been. I'm not saying that you've never been there, but many of you, for most of you, this is new territory. I just want to say that. For most of you, this is brand new territory. Okay. So in a nutshell, this is ascension. This is ascension process. It's not the end of ascension, but it's another big step for you. And this is kind of, without saying these words, this is kind of what a timeline shift is for me. Anyway, this is how I perceive a timeline shift, because we're no longer creating from the old, sort of the old book of rules. This is our new book of rules. And so your entire timeline shifts in another direction, into a higher direction, a more unconditionally loving, compassionate direction, more in line with your true self direction. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That's your general energy for the next 2 weeks. I am going to hop over then to Vimeo. I hope you'll join me. The link is in the description box below. And we're going to look at relationships, romantic relationships specifically, and any advice that's coming through for those. And we're going to answer the questions in the info box below in that reading as well. Okay. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your shares, all of that business. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Bye.